Hey everybody, how's it going? Kuroda, Rob here, of course, as usual. Got something a little different for you guys today. I've apparently fallen off the bandwagon with, as I've stated before, with my series here. I'm getting back on track, but since Rachel and I didn't have any Majora's Mask recorded, aside from the one that was posted yesterday, I wanted to finally do a video that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that's showcasing my Super Nintendo collection. As you can see, I got a bunch of other games here. I got a bunch of Sega Genesis games and N64. That's not even all my N64 games, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure I got some scattered around here. It's a mess. You know, there's some Wii U games and all kinds of stuff. My PS2 games are down here and shit. But specifically, the Super Nintendo collection is the one that I'm the most proud of. Compared to other, like, famous collectors on YouTube, like Metal Jesus or John Hancock or other people. I'm a novice, but I am really impressed with my collection. This took many years to build. It's all about, to me, quality over quantity, and I want to say conservatively 75-80% of these games are like great games. It's not like I have like 5 games and I have, you know, a bunch of throwaway stuff. I'm super proud of this collection, and I figure I might as well show it to you. First thing I want to point out, real quick, is that these games here are mine. These here are Rachel's, okay? Now, Kuroda, you're married, why would you separate the games? We just do that, it's just better. I personally prefer it over, you know, mixing everything together, because then you start forgetting whose is what and whatever. So, anyway, I'll show off Rachel's games too, because she's got some stuff. We have a lot of doubles between us. But, I just want to... I'm not going to show my entire collection, but I want to showcase, like, my favorite games that I've got. I'll just go kind of from the pile off of here. Well, you guys know this one. Like, I played this one. I did a live stream of this. Super Castlevania 4. That's a great game. This game I bought, I want to say... 6 years ago, 7 years. No, it's probably longer than that. Probably more like 8-9 years ago. I bought this for, like, believe it or not, this couldn't have been more than $10. And this, I'm pretty sure now, goes for at least, you're gonna pay, if you're paying like 20-25 bucks, you got a pretty decent deal on it. But I've seen upwards of that too. But this is a good one, Super Castlevania 4. Super Empire Strikes Back. That's not really a big thing, but I will note that Rachel has Super Star Wars and Super Return of the Jedi, so we have all, and she's missing this, and I have this, and I don't have the other two, so funny enough, between the two of us, we have all the Super Star Wars games, which are great, by the way. Killer Instinct, this is a game that, this game came with my, and I also always liked the black cartridge, by the way, but this is a game that came with my, Super NES, but this isn't that original copy. I had to rebuy this. I don't know what happened to my original copy, but this is probably, for me, the best fighting game on the Super Nintendo. A lot of people say Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. No, this to me is the best one. Maybe it's for nostalgia reasons, I don't know. But what can I really showcase here? Let's see. Well, alright, this is interesting. Super Metroid, as you guys know, I played that on the channel. I actually obtained this again recently. My shoutouts to you, Dan, if you watch this video. My brother-in-law Dan rebought this for me at a local game store in New Jersey when I lived there. He got it for me for my birthday, because my original copy I lent to somebody and never got back, so what are you gonna do? But that's it. But you guys know I played that on the channel. I've got about 50... I'm sorry, I'm like just kind of rambling on. I didn't really have like a plan. I just wanted to show off, kind of go as I could. But I got about, last I counted, I've got about 50 games. It's over 50 now. And if you include Rachel's, we probably, between us, got about, I'd say 65, 70 games, maybe 75 at the most. Here we go. I've got Breath of Fire. That's a great game. That's another Squaresoft RPG. I've got almost all the Squaresoft RPGs on the Super NES, which I'm very proud of. My next, well, I'll get to that other one thing next. Actually, I can get to it right now. Illusion of Gaia. This is the only Enix RPG I've got on the Super NES. This is my next big thing. The problem with the Enix RPG games is that they're expensive and they're rare. So, like, I bought this online. My buddy, my friend Brian, when I was younger, had this game, and I played it at his house, and I thought it was amazing. I thought it was fantastic. So I actually went and bought this online. Oh, it's been many years now. It's been at least 10 years since I bought this. So, I always thought this was a great game. This is the best Enix RPG. I plan on getting Soul Blazer soon if I can, because I found it for pretty cheap, actually, at a local game store. So, it's like $60, but that's cheap for Soul Blazer. But this is the one and only Enix game I have, and as I was saying before with the Squaresoft games, I have most of them. I want all the Enix games. So hey, if you want to send me some Enix Super Nintendo games, you know, email me. But yeah, here we go. I'm gonna save that one for one of the last ones. Here I had these alphabetized at once, but I play them so often that they get all messed up, so I gave up. I have all 3 Donkey Kong Country games, which I'm really happy about. Like, just to give you guys perspective of when I was collecting some of these games, on the back of this, for original Donkey Kong Country, $4.99. That's unheard of now. You're probably gonna spend like $20 to get. Diddy's Conquest I've had since I was a kid. This was the only Donkey Kong Country game I played as a kid, so it's got the most nostalgia for me, and it's still my favorite. Which I'll probably play this on the channel at some point. I'd love to play it with Rachel again. And Diddy, to give you perspective too, Donkey Kong Country 3, I purchased about a year ago for $30. So, like, look at the difference, you know? I mean, you're looking for these now, probably just for these 3. This would be worth about, this is about $30. This would be about, they're all probably gonna range about $30, $20. So you're looking at, like, I would say about, let's see, 30, 60, say another 20. You're looking about $75 to $80 worth, you know, of games here. Like, I can't believe how much these games have gone up in price. This one I'm saving for later. I might as well show this one off now because I'm very proud of it. I have while we're on the subject of Squaresoft, I'm just gonna kind of go around here. I technically have every Final Fantasy for the Super Nintendo, which encompasses, of course, the classics, Final Fantasy 3 and 2, also known as 4 and 6, and then this pretty shitty game, which is Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, which, yeah, I don't recommend. But not just that, I bought this literally so I could say I have all the Final Fantasy games. I recently bought a Super Famicom version of Final Fantasy V because I happened to run into it. It was cheap, and I thought, you know what, it'd be nice to technically own all the Final Fantasies for Super Nintendo. So I'm trying to get in the camera here. So I'm very, very proud of this. And also, these happen to be, aside from Mystic Quest, some of my favorite Final Fantasies. These 2 especially. 5 I haven't played in a long time. I had played the Game Boy Advance version, but I loved it from what I played of it. So these are a really, I'm really happy to own these games. They're fantastic. I'm gonna have to, maybe I'll take this opportunity to re-alphabetize. Another thing I wanted to show off, which I just recently added in addition to this, is, well, let me see if I can just gather them all here for a second for you guys. I am, like, I know it's kind of cheesy, but, I really love puzzle games for the Super Nintendo. So I have quite an impressive puzzle collection, if I may say so. I'm just gonna get all of them out here. I know it's kind of cheesy, but they're, it's all good stuff. Just missing one. I just gotta see if I can find it here. Yeah, again, this is why you want to be organized when you do a video like this. I think I got them all. Alright, I think I got them all. Yeah, they're all here. So these are my puzzle games that I've got for Super Nintendo. I got a lot of them. I guess we'll go with this one. This is my newest one. This came in the mail literally last week. This is Tetris and Dr. Mario, which is really good. I really like the version of Tetris and Dr. Mario on this. I'm gonna move the camera down slightly so you guys, I can just showcase this real quick. So I have Tetris and Dr. Mario. I've got, to go with the Tetris theme, I have Tetris 2, which is not bad. This was given to me by my friend Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, because he thought the game was a piece of shit. So I figured, so he figured I told him I liked it, so he gave it to me. I also have probably my favorite puzzle game of all time, Tetris Attack. I absolutely love Tetris Attack. It's like, I could play that game constantly. Another one of my all-time favorite puzzle games right here, a little bit of a novelty, is Wario's Woods. I really like that game. I've actually been playing a ROM of it on my phone like every day. It's been great. Just for convenience factor. I have Yoshi's Cookie, which is pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of the game, but I do think it's a pretty good game. I've had that one for a long time. And to be quite honest with you guys, I couldn't even tell you where I got that freaking game from. I've had it essentially since I got my Super Nintendo. Where it came from, I have no idea. My memory just totally slips. And then I've also got, I'll go on this side. I've got Kirby's Avalanche as well, which is a pretty good game. I haven't played a lot of it, but I think I just picked it up randomly at a game store. But that's my little puzzle collection. I always really like puzzle games. They're one of those great it's like a great genre of games that you can just kind of pick up and play. And like pretty much all of these have 2-player modes, so they're great to play with friends and stuff, especially like with Rachel, because she's also a big puzzle game fan like myself. Okay, that's better. Just put this back up here. Yeah, so okay, that's my puzzle game collection, which I really like. Most of them you can still get pretty cheap. I think Tetris Attack is probably the most expensive one if you were to buy it. Let's see what I haven't shown off here yet. I got a couple. I got the 2 classic racing games here, F-Zero and Super Mario Kart. This is my original copy of Super Mario Kart. I've had that for many years. At least 15 years, at least. I'm sure it's more than that at this point. It might be getting closer to 20 years, as insane as that sounds. I think it's probably close to 20 years old. Actually, no, it's probably over, because I got my Super Nintendo in '95. And it's 2017, so it's probably over 20 years old, which makes me feel really old. I'll show you guys my fighting games. I'm getting excited now because I love Super Nintendo. Let's see what we got here. I can show you my other Kirby games. Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Course. I should mention that Kirby's Dream Course is technically Walt's. He bought it, but he doesn't have a Super Nintendo. So, basically, Walt, I'm sure you'll watch this video, you can have that back whenever you actually acquire a Super Nintendo. But these are 2 of the best Kirby games I've ever played. I don't have Kirby's Dream Land 3. For anybody who knows Super, like, Nintendo games, like, who collects them, you know that Kirby's Dream Land 3 is really expensive. So, it's because it's rare, because it was, I think, one of, if not the very last game to come out on the Super Nintendo. It came out like 98 or something like that, which is super late for the Super Nintendo. Let's get it, super late. But yeah, these are 2 great games. I love Kirby Superstar. What else? I guess I could show off my Mario games here. I was gonna show off fighting games first. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Here we go. Fighting games. I've got 2 Mortal Kombats. Mortal Kombat 3, I'll just hold them up like this. Mortal Kombat 3, and I don't really understand the difference. The Ultimate Fighting game, Mortal Kombat, the Ultimate Fighting game. I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat fan, to be quite honest with you. I like them, but I mean, I prefer like Street Fighter, to be honest with you. So I got Street Fighter 2, and obviously Killer Instinct, which I just showed there. But these are pretty much the extent of my fighting games. I know there's different versions of Street Fighter, and I think there's also Mortal Kombat 2, which I don't have. Yeah, and I mean, I don't need all of those Mortal Kombat games, and one version of Street Fighter is enough. Plus, I technically have Street Fighter for the Sega Genesis as well. So I don't, as you guys know actually, because I did play that with Lol. So I don't really need another Street Fighter game. And like I said, if I'm gonna play a fighting game on the Super Nintendo, it's pretty much always Killer Instinct because it's the best one. What else can I show off here? I'm gonna show off some Mario games now. It's time. Aside from like the puzzle games I showed you, I've got funny enough, I've got, okay, here we go. 2 copies of Super Mario World, which are slightly different, by the way, if you noticed. If you look at the logo, okay, hold on. Yeah, if you look at the logo, see how it like goes like right across here like that? Versus like this, which has it like crunched together. I don't know what the difference is. I think one of them is the original version, one of them is the like a second version. But this is my original copy. It's pretty weathered. It's pretty, like, as you can see, like the labels kind of screwed on it. Also, it does not save. It will not save the game for whatever reason. So, because of the condition of this one, I recently rebought this for the Super Nintendo. So this is kind of the one that I'll like play and like. You know, it's kind of the more valuable one, really, but I keep this one for sentimental reasons. This was my first game for the Super Nintendo. This and Killer Instinct, and well, actually, this Killer Instinct and this beautiful thing, which is in even worse shape. That's Super Mario All Stars. That's my only copy of it. For a while, I was thinking I was going to rebuy it. The reason I haven't is because Rachel owns it, so she's got it right here somewhere. I'm not going to pull it out right now, but she's got a much nicer version of this than I do, so I may rebuy it for myself at some point, but if I have access to hers, I'm not in any big rush to do it. So, yeah, unfortunately this is in pretty shitty shape, and I thought for some reason as a kid that ripping the label off would be cool. Stupid kid shit, you know. Any other Mario games? Oh, yeah, like, only the greatest Mario game of all time. Oh, and also, I do have a couple other ones, actually, now that I'm seeing it. I have Yoshis Safari, which you guys saw Dave play. Oh, that was fun. And I recently bought that and another Yoshi game. Of course, Yoshi's Island, which Rachel and I played. Did the live stream of. So I got a couple Yoshi games, you have to, plus Yoshi's Cookie. And Tetris Attack, I guess, is technically a Yoshi game. These are both great games, especially this one, obviously. Dave and I were playing this the other day. I like Yoshi Safari. The Super Scope's fun. This is Rachel's Super Scope. It's nice to have access to a Super Scope because I've never had it. Like, when I played Yoshi Safari with Dave the other day, it was the very first time I had ever used a Super Scope. In fact, this copy of Yoshi Safari is pretty new. I bought this maybe a couple months ago, so because I knew she had this, so I was like, why not? But it's pretty fun. It's cool. It's crazy that it takes 6 friggin' AA's batteries, but it works pretty well. So I'll put this back over here. We're going with the Mario games. Only the greatest game of all time. Super Mario, in my opinion, Super Mario RPG: Legend of the Seven Stars. This is a game that will be played on the channel. I really want to play this with Rachel because she's never played it. But this is my original copy. I've had this for 15 plus years. I originally played my friend Brian's version of it for the Super Nintendo. He lent it to me, and I bought it myself. Like early 2000s I bought it, so I've had this for a long time. You can see it's a little weathered on the top, but it still works good, and it's a game that if this one eventually goes, I will rebuy it because this to me is the best game of all time. You just can't beat this game in my opinion. A couple little things. I got like Pilot Wings. I got Sim City. I've got here's 2 really great games. I've got Mega Man X. That's a great game. It's the only Mega Man game I have. All the other Mega Man games are really expensive for whatever reason, like X2, X3. They're like $100 each. And 7, I've never played 7. Oh, and there's also Mega Man Soccer, but I don't have that one. But this is a good game. I like this game. This is probably the best Mega Man game I've played. And I haven't played a lot of Mega Man, to be honest, but I don't see myself trying to go out of my way to get the Mega Man X games immediately because they're so expensive. But if you want to donate, yeah, email me. And then of course the classic Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. This one's actually in really good condition too. This is my favorite Zelda game of all time. This game I actually bought in high school. I played it earlier than that, but I didn't actually pick it up till high school. This is just one of those classic games. It's easily like it would probably be top 10 in my top 10 favorite games of all time. Legend of Zelda. This set the template to me. Really, this was the game that set the template for Zelda games. Because they took so many elements from this game and added it to, actually not even added it, they became staples of the whole Zelda franchise. So, like, between, with the music, certain gameplay elements, like, different items and whatnot, like, I don't know, this just, to me, is the perfect Zelda game, and it will always be. And, I don't know, I have yet to play a game that's to me, surpassed this game. I understand, like, graphically and all that stuff, but I don't know, for some reason, this is always the best experience for me when it comes to a Zelda game. And I should note, you probably saw up here, I have a very crappy, beaten-up box for this. This isn't my original box. The store, the one game store where I said that Dan got me Super Metroid, I knew the guys there pretty well, and they were going to try to sell this with their copy of Link to the Past. Well, I was there, and I pointed out that they didn't have a copy of Link to the Past, and that I did. And so the guy gave it to me. I mean, it's pretty freaking beaten up, but at the same time, like, who cares? It's the box, and I'm pretty sure it's got the manual in it too, the original manual. Yeah, it does. It's right here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's got the original manual in it too. Like, how great is that? I also should note that I somewhere have Kirby's Avalanche, like the manual for that as well. So that's pretty cool, It's a really, really cool manual. So yeah, that's as far as box art, that's really the only Super NES box I have. Rachel has some, which I could show in a moment, but they're not mine. So Zelda: Link to the Past. I also have Star Fox, which is obviously another one of those classics. This to me is as good as Star Fox 64. Because for the time, this was a groundbreaking game. It's like one of the first to use the FX chip there. Only a couple other games really use that. For example, Kirby Superstar uses that. I believe... Wow, I'm surprised none of the Donkey Kong Country games use that. I would have thought they would have used that. But they actually don't. Neither does Killer Instinct, given the graphics. Like, they have the pre-rendered graphics. Super Mario RPG uses it. So certain games used it. But Star Fox was the first to do that, which is pretty cool. And it's a great game. Star Fox is fantastic. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, yeah. A couple more, and then we're going to be ready to go. Sorry, I'm taking forever here. Just a couple of them's got, like, Prince of Persia and stuff like that. These two are great. Actually, I'll show you this one first. You guys know, I think, that I own this. Turtles in Time. I played this with James on the channel. We did that little, like, run through it. This is a fucking great game. This is, like, top 10, top 20, 10, 20, something like that. Super NES games for me. And I know that's, like, 20 is a lot, but, like, Super Nintendo had so many gems, as I just showed you guys. This game is awesome. And look at this. You guys aren't going to believe how much I paid for this. This game now goes, on average, $60. Look what I paid for it. $4.99. $4.99, and it's $60 now. Talk about a markup, it's crazy. So, yeah, but it's not in, the label could be in a little bit better shape, it's a little faded, but it works perfectly. And I actually got this at a game store 10 years ago, something like that, so I didn't realize that I was going to have such a good deal and such a great game, so it's wonderful. Although the arcade version is insane. James and I played the arcade version. a couple months ago when we got together, and it's so much harder than this version. But I guess, you know, you can only really pack so much of the you know, you can really basically only port an arcade version to the Super Nintendo and without taking a certain amount of liberties, you know. Anyway, here's two games. One I've had for a while, and then one I recently picked up, and that's Secret of Mana and Secret of Evermore, kind of rounding off the old Squaresoft collection here. Secret of Mana was given to me in like late high school by my friend Brian for Christmas. I don't know if Brian, if you ever watched this, I hope you remember giving me that, because I remember playing that Christmas, like pretty much just playing that game. But I've had Secret of Mana for several years now. Secret of Evermore, it bothered me so much that I didn't have this game for so long, because I was like, oh, I don't have Secret of Evermore, but I have Secret of Mana, you know? Well, I finally picked this up a year and a half ago, something like that. It was like $30 on Amazon, which isn't bad. I thought it would be way worse, but might as well get it now before it ends up, end up costing $60 or something, I don't know. But these two games are both great. Secret of Evermore I need to play more. Actually, admittedly, I need to play both more, but I think you'll see some of these on the channel as well, because these are two great games. There's two games specifically I want to show that I'm most proudest of owning, but I figure before I do that, all we have here is like SimCity, Pilot Wings. I have a Madden game. These are kind of my like throwaway kind of games, although I wouldn't really call them throwaway. Like Super Adventure Island's great, you know, and Pilot Wings is fun. I have Prince of Persia, that's a good game. I have a Madden game which I bought from my friend. I'm not really into Madden, but she's got like a lot of random stuff like Wheel of Fortune and shit like that, and she's got Super Scope 6, which is decent. It's good to have two games of the Super Scope. She's got a much nicer version of Super Mario Kart and Super Mario World. She's kept her games in really good condition. She's got A Link to the Past, Return of the Jedi, and Super Star Wars, as I told you. Here's her copy of, this has been amazing. She's really been filling in the gaps in terms of, like, games that I have access to and stuff. Like, so here's her copy of Super Mario All-Stars, by the way, in, like, immaculate condition, which is great. And she has Donkey Kong Country 2 and Donkey Kong Country the first one. But she has this game, which she loves, which is Mario Paint, which I've never actually played, believe it or not. She also has the mouse, which is over here. I can see it, but I'm not going to fish it out right now. So that's a game I'm going to have to try at some point. I've yet to play that. She's also got Aladdin, which is a great game. She's also got the AIDS Fest, that is Mario's Missing and Mario's Time Machine. And yeah, pretty much it. She's got like Yoshi's Island, so she's got like a decent chunk of games too, some really good stuff. But it's cool she has like some of the, like it's cool that some of her games like fill in the gaps. It's neat, like the fact that she has a better copy of All Stars, the fact that she has the two Super Star Wars games that I don't have, and I have Super Empire Strikes Back. You know, it's just kind of cool, you know, that we both have some really great games for the Super Nintendo. I think that's it for hers. There wasn't really much I wanted to really showcase there. She's got some good stuff. But the last two games that I really wanted to show you guys, and the two that I'm like the most proudest of owning for some reason, it's like, oh yeah, I own a game, what's to be proud of? But I don't know, I really like them. They're two of my favorite games of all time, and some of you probably are not gonna know where this is going. Chrono Trigger, which I'm going to be playing on the channel as soon as I finish Setsuna. This will be the next game I play, and I will be playing it on the Super NES, so it's going to be a very organic experience of Chrono Trigger, and I'm super stoked for it. The label on the top is in a bit rough shape, but I've had this game for, oh god, I'm trying to think now. I've had this game. I bought it in like high school, and it was like $50 then. I think it was $50 when I bought it. Now you're gonna be paying, it's getting close to $100 or something like that, I think, is what it's going for now. So this game, man, it's worn a lot, but I've played this game a lot, and it's been through a lot. So this is a game that I absolutely love. It's a game that I hope this doesn't ever shit out on me. It could be in a little bit better shape, admittedly, but you know, I've been through a lot of moves and shit, so what are you gonna do? And the other thing the other game that I wanted to showcase, of course, is Earthbound, which is another game that I'm very proud of owning. These both are probably the two most valuable games I own. Like I said, Chrono Trigger, I could probably get about $100 for. Earthbound up to 200 probably. Even though it's still in pretty decent shape, but there's a little bit of wear on the top. I could probably still get like $200 for this game. And there's nothing like playing these games on the original console. I'm super proud to own these. I love them. They're two of my favorite games of all time. Honestly, for me, it would probably be like these two and Mario RPG would probably be my 3 favorite games of all time. And another 3, I guess. But yeah, these are just these are the pride and joy of my collection. Yeah, they're kind of like these are the, I don't know, they're both such huge parts of my childhood that you know, I have a lot of like nostalgia for them, and a lot of like, you know, I have such a connection with these games for whatever reason, and it's the reason why I collect Super Nintendo games, is for games like this and like these, and Super Mario RPG, and you know, all of them, Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island. Like I just love the Super Nintendo. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to show. That's about it. Yeah. So that's my Super NES collection. Like I said, I don't have as many as some other people, but I feel like what I have is really good stuff. So now that you've kind of seen what I have, if there's anything you guys want me to play, let me know in the comments below, because I'm always happy to play the Super Nintendo. It will forever be my favorite system of all time. I'm still gonna keep collecting it. My next goal is Enix RPGs if I can, although Evo is usually about $250, which I'm not really ready to spend some money on, but I want to at least get Soul Blazer. I'd like to get ActRaiser. I'd like to get Robotrek, excuse me. I'd like to get, oh, why can't I think of it? Ogre Battle's another one that would cost a lot of money. Yeah. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them, but at the moment my goal is Soul Blazer, because that's a fantastic game. So we'll see how it goes. And then, you know, there's plenty of other games. Like I know there's like Castlevania Dracula X, which I would love to get, but that goes for upwards of $100. I'm trying to think of other games. I'm blanking out right now, but I know there's like a bunch of stuff. Kirby's Dream Land 3, I want to get that eventually. So there's definitely some stuff I'm missing. But for the most part, I think I got all the really, really good classic Super Nintendo games, so that makes me happy. But anyway, that's it for this video. I wanted to showcase the games. I'm going to try to put this mess back together. It gives me a good excuse to alphabetize, I guess. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you found me through this video, hit the subscribe button if you would. And if you want to send me Super Nintendo games, give me an email, because I'll happily take free Super Nintendo games. I think another thing I might start doing is when I, just so you guys know, when I hit a certain amount of views and subscribers and whatnot, I kind of have a goal set in mind. I might start up like a little Patreon or something or whatever, and I think I might take that money, if I do it, to purchase games to play. So not just for collector reasons, but for just to, and not just Super Nintendo games either, but like if there's games you guys want me to play, I can then do that, you know, and I can, without like, I mean, I'm gonna buy games anyway, but it would help if it's like a game that's like kind of more expensive, maybe, that you guys would want me to play. And I'm kind of a stickler for, like, I like to play it on the original consoles. There's exceptions, sure, but I own so many consoles like the Sega Genesis, I could easily make a video showcasing those games and whatnot. But you know, in the N64, that's another one, but I always prefer playing them on the original system, so if there's, like I said, if there's anything you guys want to see, just let me know. But alright, as for now, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.